Hi, this is Barry Enerson from the Trade Ideas Live Trading Room. It is Wednesday, April the 22nd. This is the address to get into the room, and you can log in with your Facebook or your Twitter account. All right, I'm not going to go over every trade that I posted in the room today. Some of them for some very small gains, some small losses. One of the things on my losses, and if you're in the room, you know this, and it's been pointed out by other people that I very rarely take big losses. I'm pretty conservative. When I get into a trade, usually put a pretty tight stop on it, and if it starts going against me, I'm pretty quick to pull the trigger. And it can hurt me sometimes because sometimes, it can reverse and go right back up. But, I'm prepared for that. I mean, of course, it pains me to see something that I get out of that zooms back up almost immediately. But, there's just so many stocks to trade and I just kind of move on from it. I have a bit of a 1 minute look at it and then I sort of try to erase it from my memory if it has gone against me. So that's why I don't go over a lot of the losses that I take, but you see them in the room. I definitely post them in the room. But, for the purposes of this video, I'm not sure that it's really that big a deal. I will go over one of them, the DLB, but first let's take a look at ADXS. And ADXS, I have to take a look at the daily chart to tell you why I traded this at all. And again, for those of you who have followed me, you know that I do an evening scan. And what I mean by that, once the market closes today, I'm going to do a scan to find what I call my best 10 stocks and it doesn't always have to be 10. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. But these are 10 stocks that I think have a good chance of doing something the following day. So that being today. So you see ADXS is on the list. So why did it make the list? Well, here's the daily chart. And, the bios have been strong again. If we take a look at IBB, a few weeks ago, this was the top. We had the what I call the mini crash, a bit of a pull up, and then a pullback. And since then, we've had, here's a nice rise, bit of a consolidation. And so it looks to me like, this is over. I mean, who knows what could happen tomorrow? Nobody can predict it. But to me, it looks like this. This catastrophe that everybody's predicting was going to keep going down is kind of over. So with that in mind, when I see a stock like ADXS and it's in the biotech sector, that really gets my interest. So this is today's candle right here. So this is yesterday. So this is what I'm looking at. And I'm seeing a stock that had a nice rise, a pullback, and then a pop yesterday. And so when I see this, I'm thinking, okay, if the stock can get above this high right there, which is about 2267, that it might have some good continuation. So in the pre-market, I was watching this stock and here's where it closed yesterday at about just about $22. So in the pre-market, there's hardly any volume, but at least it was up. So I thought, okay, maybe there's continuation. Excuse me, that's going to happen today. So here's what happened. Here is the opening volume candle or volume bar. These are all 5-minute candles. So it really did nothing. It tried to come down and then it really did nothing, almost a mini doji here. And then the next candle, it just shot up and it continued. So, I love watching stocks break through a whole number, but a lot of times I'll wait for the second break, and that's what I did. You see right down there, it popped up over the whole number there, and then it came back down to 22.94 and popped back up over the whole number, took the trade at 23.10. I sold some at 23.34. I wish I'd waited just about probably 2 minutes because then it popped right up here. Actually got through 24. Was really hoping that I would get my dollar gain trade out of this one, but I didn't get the bid on this, and it actually started coming down. So I sold the balance at 23.89, and which was a good thing. I mean, actually I got out just in the nick of time because it really did nothing for the rest of the day. Let's just take a look at where it is. Yeah, 22.53. I will probably continue to watch this tomorrow just to see what might happen because it is a strong stock. Bio's still strong. The biotech, let's say IBB it's only up 33 cents today, so it's not had a big strong day. But nonetheless, I think the bios are still the sector that can give you the quickest gains. I mean, look, this is less than a 20-minute trade for me, so you really can't beat those sort of gains in a 20-minute time period. DLB was yeah, this was a disappointment to me. Now, this was an earnings play, and one of the other things I'm starting to do is I've created this little top list, and I can't share this with you because you have to do the work yourself. You have to find stocks that have beat earnings or missed on earnings. You have to do some homework yourself in the pre-market. What I do is I take a look at the post market from yesterday and the pre-market this morning, get a list together of stocks that have beat earnings, guidance, and all that. So I think that they probably are going to be pretty active and missed. And DLB was on the list. So this to me looked like a stock that could maybe have a good continuation all day. So I took the trade again. Here's $40. I took the trade right here. This is, gave it a little bit of time to settle down. Took the trade right here around 10 o'clock as it broke through the whole number at 40.10. It actually popped way up here to 40.40, but the spread was a little bit bad, and then it came down almost immediately. When that happened, I got a little nervous and I exited right here at 39.99. Right when the bid hit 39.99, I took it out. Not a moment too soon. I mean, it went all the way down to 39.62. And I kind of lost sight of it. Really should have piled back into this stock right here in this nice consolidation. Right, what is this? This is right underneath the whole number, and it popped right through. And this is what I was really anticipating could happen right there. But it's just one of the things. I have a lot of stocks now that I'm looking at. I really have I'm going to have to do something about that just to show you something here. These are my optimized strategies. I call them, Barry's AI optimized strategies. Another word on this. Trade Ideas will have an optimized channel. Dan Merkin, our CEO, popped into the trading room today. Basically said that I think in June, this optimized channel will be ready to go. And you will have access to that at least for the beginning at no charge, but you have to take the odds maker package, which I think right now is $899 for the odds maker for life and all inclusive for trade ideas, all your subscription fees for the whole year. I think it works out to, I don't know, $2.63 a day. But these optimized strategies now, it's going to come to a point where this is all I'm going to look at. I'm going to have, I think what's going to happen is we're going to have some optimized strategies that are combinations of swings and day trades. And, it's not just going to be completely for day trades. But what I'm noticing is a lot of these, even the 5-day swings, are really good for short day trades. And I believe that the optimized strategies are only going to get better. Right now, Trade Ideas is just towards the end of a massive, massive undertaking. They've got a deal going with eSignal that everybody with eSignal will now have access to trade ideas from within eSignal. This is a huge deal for the company. All the resources for the last few weeks, probably several months, have really been poured into getting this completed. I believe that it should be done within a couple of weeks. And then after that, they're really going to concentrate on developing more and more optimized strategies. It's not just the numbers. I mean, it's not just the sheer numbers of optimized strategies, but the whole idea of this is to create these strategies and then literally optimize them every day. So they'll run them through the computer to make sure they're still working. And by still working, I mean that, if you looked at an equity curve, and I'm not going to show you one right now, but if you looked at an equity curve on one of these strategies and it was starting to curve down, in other words, maybe the strategy has kind of run out of steam for a while, they will try to optimize it and maybe change some filter settings, add some filters, subtract some filters, do whatever they have to do to get it back on track. Now, it may be that there's nothing they can do for that particular strategy. We'll call it the opening 30-minute range break. So maybe they set it aside for a while, but every day they will continue to optimize it, to check it with the odds maker and everything just to see how it's doing. So I'm very excited about that because ultimately, I mean, all these are giving me plenty of ideas all day long. I don't need, my bounces. I don't need my up and down most in dollars. I don't need, well, I'm sure I will continue to look at my best 10. It's just something I do like to do. It gives me something to do when the market closes. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that ultimately, I think this is all I'm going to need to focus on for the day. One window, and that's it. So I'm sorry, a little long-winded here, but I just wanted to show you Dolby, and so I did take a loss on that one. GBSN was a bit of a. This was one that again we noticed in the pre-market had the big rise in the pre-market, so everybody was watching it, and I kind of, I don't want to say I blew it, but I did get into it right here, and GBSN actually came on. Yeah, this came on the strategy, if I can find it. Right here, Dan's 30-day or 30-minute opening range at 555. Now, one of the things is that just because you get an alert doesn't mean you have to blindly take these trades. You should be, taking a look at support, resistance, and a whole bunch of other things probably. And one of the things that concerned me with this one is that this bar is where the alert came. So where am I going to put a stop? And that's what really kind of shook me out of this trade because I took the trade right here at 559. Um, and it did go up, got up to 575, and but on this candle, actually, it's in the wrong position. On this candle right here, I got out at 563 because I'm thinking, well, okay, where is it going to stop? I mean, it could literally come right to the bottom of the candle that got us into the trade. So for me, this was not ideal. All right. For somebody else, maybe they'd hold on and then they got it really rewarded. Look at this. I mean, it broke through $6. So you're in at 559 and you can get out over $6. That's a great percentage increase on a very short time period. So, it worked. It just didn't work for me. All right. But, somebody else might have a completely different take on it. PCAR. PCAR was another one. PCAR, PCAR. And let me find this one. This was right here, PCAR, 30-minute opening range break. Now, why I like this one, and you'll notice I've got two. Here, this different colors. This was the original 30-minute opening range break that Dan gave us. This one has been more optimized, all right. But I still want to I still have this one in my list, in my along with my in the multi-strategy list, and what intrigued me about this one is that it was just over the whole number. So when I took a look at PCAR right here, and it when it popped over the whole number, and it was sitting right around here, it actually sat there. It sat there for just a little bit of time, and I took the trade right here at 68.10, and took out some at 68.31, and the rest at 68.34. So I mean, it's not that it was a tremendous trade, but again, very quick on the first half, and within 20 minutes I'm out. Now it collapsed after that, so this is why I'm saying, you have to have some common sense with these strategies. I mean, if for me anyway, if I get a candle like this, I have to take some profit. I have to protect it. And then if it collapses right back down to my buy, that's okay. I've made some money. Look at this. I mean, there are a ton of strategy or alerts that I'm receiving. So I just move on to the next one. And the next one was that's all I'm going to do. The only one, yeah, I mean, I did trade SPCB off that strategy. It didn't work. I got out basically flat. And I know I traded BRCM and I made like a couple of pennies on that one. But the other one I do want to take a look at. Let's see how it's doing. Didn't quite break $3. Now, if you're getting our trade of the week, and the webinar this afternoon at 4:30 is going to be a really good one. Now, by the time you get this, it's probably over, unfortunately. But if you're in the room, we post a link for this, and it's a great webinar every Wednesday at 4:30 Eastern Time. Brad generally goes over some features of trade ideas, digs in a little bit deeper than what you're probably aware of some of of the functions that trade ideas can do. And I find, I mean, even me, who's had the product for 4 years, I'm sort of riveted to what he's talking about because he really knows this product inside and out, and he explains things really well. So anyway, VGGL was the trade of the week that emailed out to everybody yesterday, and I really like what they did with this one because everybody is trying to find the next And again, the next VLTC, right? Because this is everybody's trying to find this one. It's had a bit of a, it got kicked today, but I mean, it hit $20 all the way from about under a penny about 3 weeks ago. And the reason this is happening is because Carl Icahn took a stake in this company. The news came out that he has more than 50%. So I'm sure that that's one of the reasons why this one is getting all the press and all the love, etc. But take a look at this one, and this is exactly I mean, take a look at the daily chart well, maybe take a look at the weekly. Maybe that will give you a better idea. Yeah, I mean, right up here but here at $19, look how it's come down and now it's starting to move up. Now, will it do the same as VLTC? We're not saying that, but this has a similar look to that. And it actually did a reverse split here, one for 80. The other one did one for 10. So, I mean, this was even worse. And the people who did this one are still underwater at $23. But new shareholders, they don't care about the fact that it did this way back here. I mean, this is back in 2014. I mean, it's not that long ago. But new shareholders are starting to get very interested in this. So this is why it's on the list. And I'm actually in this one at a little late. I'm in at 274. I will try to swing this one. Swinging is not in my nature, but this does look pretty darn interesting to me. So I think they're going to talk about this one at 4:30. So this is a bit of a long-winded one today, but I did want to go over some of the features. And again, if you're still sitting on the fence, I really think that you should take a long, hard look at the 8.99 price that we're offering for the odds maker and one full year of trade ideas. And so that will get you to all these optimized strategies that will start happening in June. And I mean, there's just some wonderful. I mean, it takes a lot of the guesswork and the emotion out of trading. I mean, again, I'm not saying just because you get an alert, you just blindly take it, but it sure has made my trading a lot more easy. And so I encourage you to take a hard look at it. All right, that's it for today.